Adrian Carter stood in his big, fancy bathroom, fixing his black tie. He looked at himself in the mirror. Even though he was 52 years old, he still looked handsome and strong. His dark hair now had some silver near his ears, and the lines on his face showed years of hard work, tough business deals, and sleepless nights. "Mr. Carter, your car is waiting," his assistant said through the speaker. "I'll be down in a minute," Adrian answered, giving himself one last look. Tonight was the Riverside Foundation charity party. Every year, the richest people in New York came to give money and show off their wealth. Adrian was one of the most successful real estate businessmen in the city, so people expected him to be there. These parties bored him, but they were good for meeting important people and keeping his image. His phone buzzed. It was a message from Diane Hughes, his girlfriend. She was 20 years younger than him and a rising fashion model. "Running late. Meet you there," her text said. Adrian frowned. This was the third time this month she was late for an important event, but he didn't really care. Their relationship was mostly for show, just like everything else in his life. It served a purpose. In his private car, Adrian looked at business papers on his tablet. His company, Carter Developments, was about to buy another struggling company. Another win for him. "We've arrived, sir," the driver said as they stopped in front of the Plaza Hotel. Bright camera flashes hit Adrian as he stepped out. He gave his practiced smile, the one that never reached his eyes, and nodded to reporters. Inside, the ballroom sparkled with huge crystal lights. The room was full of fancy dresses, expensive jewelry, and waiters carrying trays of champagne and little snacks. "Adrian, there you are," called Richard Banks, an old business friend. "Come meet the people from Westridge Investments. They're interested in your Brooklyn project." Adrian spent the next hour talking to investors and showing off his charm. But then something caught his eye. Across the room, near a tall window, stood a woman with silver streaks in her dark hair. She wore a simple but beautiful navy blue dress. There was something familiar about her, the way she stood, the tilt of her head. Adrian froze. When she turned to the side, his heart skipped. Lena? It had been 20 years, but he would know her anywhere. Lena Williams? No, Lena Carter, unless she had remarried. The thought hit him hard. Without a word to the people around him, Adrian walked toward her. His heart was pounding. Lena had never been part of this rich world when they were married. Back then, they barely had enough money to pay rent for their tiny apartment. As he got closer, he saw she was still beautiful, but in a different way. She looked stronger now. She was talking to a young man whose back was to Adrian. The man was tall, with dark hair and broad shoulders. Something about him seemed familiar too. When Lena noticed Adrian, her smile froze. Her eyes widened slightly. The young man saw her change in expression and turned around. Adrian stopped in shock. It was like looking at himself when he was 30 years younger. The young man had the same jawline, the same intense eyes, but he was taller and more athletic. "Mom," the young man said loudly. "Is that him?" Lena put a gentle hand on his arm. "Yes, Ethan, that's Adrian Carter." The name meant nothing to Adrian, and yet it suddenly meant everything. "You look surprised," Lena said in a calm but cool voice. Adrian swallowed. "I didn't expect to see you here." Ethan's eyes narrowed. "Funny, I've been expecting to meet you my whole life." The meaning of those words hit Adrian like a punch. He looked from Ethan to Lena. "He's your son," Lena said. "He's 22 now." Adrian's mind raced. That meant Lena had been pregnant when he left. She had been carrying his child, and he never knew. "Why don't we talk somewhere private?" Lena suggested. Adrian led them to a quiet sitting area. "How did you find me?" he asked. Ethan gave a short laugh. "Find you? You're in the newspapers all the time. Your face is on billboards. It wasn't hard." "What Ethan means," Lena said, "is that we weren't looking for you. We're here because the foundation supports Ethan's research at Columbia Medical School." "You're a doctor?" Adrian asked. "Almost," Ethan said stiffly. I'm finishing my degree in cancer research. Adrian felt a strange pride. Why didn't you tell me? He asked Lena. Lena's calm face cracked a little. Tell you? You disappeared, Adrian. No note, no phone call, just empty closets and an empty bank account. How was I supposed to tell you anything? She was right. He had left without a word, thinking their marriage was holding him back. I tried to find you at first, Lena continued, but you made it clear you wanted nothing to do with your old life. Mom, we don't have to do this now, Ethan said. It's all right, Lena told him. It's been 20 years. We can talk. I didn't know about you, Adrian told Ethan. If you had? Ethan asked sharply. Would you have stayed? Played happy family? Before Adrian could answer, a voice interrupted. Johnny, there you are. It was Diane, wearing a bright red dress. She stopped when she saw them. Oh, am I interrupting? Diane, this is Lena and Ethan, Adrian said. Nice to meet you, Diane said with a smile. Are you investors? Ethan stood up. No, I'm his son. The room seemed to go silent. Son? Diane's eyebrows shot up. Johnny, you never told me you had a son. He didn't know, Lena said. And now he does. Ethan, we should go, Lena said. You have an early class tomorrow. Wait, Adrian said. Please, can we talk again? Let me explain. What's to explain? Ethan said coldly. You made a choice. We lived with it. At least let me give you my card, Adrian said. Lena hesitated, then nodded. I can't promise anything, but maybe for Ethan's sake. Adrian handed her his card. Their hands touched for a moment, and old memories rushed back. Goodbye, Adrian, Lena said. Ethan gave a short nod and left with her. Adrian stood there, feeling like his whole world had shifted. For years, he measured success in money and power. Now, it all felt empty. Johnny, what's going on? Diane asked. You have a son you never knew about? This is the kind of thing you should tell someone. Adrian hardly heard her. All he could think about was his son and the 20 years he had missed. That night, in his penthouse, he stood at the window, holding a glass of scotch in one hand and an old photo in the other. It was a picture of him and Lena when they were young, smiling with hope. One choice had cost him 20 years. Now maybe he had one chance to fix it. For 3 days, Adrian stayed home. He canceled meetings and ignored Diane's calls. All he could do was stare at his phone, hoping it would ring. On the 4th day, his assistant's voice came through the speaker. Mr. Carter, you have a visitor. A Miss Lena Carter. Adrian almost dropped his coffee. Send her up. He quickly straightened the room like a nervous teenager. When the elevator opened, Lena walked in wearing simple clothes but looking calm. Thank you for coming, Adrian said softly. Lena looked around at his expensive apartment. So this is what you left us for, she said quietly. The words hurt because they were true. Coffee? Tea? Adrian asked. Coffee. Black, she replied. He brought her the drink and sat across from her. Is Ethan with you? He's at the hospital for his training, she said. He seems amazing, Adrian said. He is, Lena replied. No thanks to you. Adrian winced. I deserve that, and worse. I didn't come here to punish you, Lena said. I came because Ethan deserves to know his father, if that's something you want. Of course I do. More than anything, Adrian said quickly. Even more than your business, she asked. Adrian looked down. I've changed. Have you? Or are you just shocked right now? Because Ethan doesn't need someone who will come and go when it's convenient. He's had enough disappointment. The thought that his son had been hurt made Adrian's chest ache. Tell me about him, Adrian said. Tell me everything I've missed. Lena's face softened a little. He was born on September 12th, she said quietly. It was a hard birth. I was in labor for 36 hours. I was alone, except for my sister Rachel. Adrian closed his eyes. He imagined Lena going through that without him. He cried a lot for the first 6 months, Lena went on. I barely slept. I worked 2 jobs. In the day, I was a receptionist. At night, I was a waitress. Rachel would watch him while I worked. How did you do it? Adrian asked in a soft voice. I didn't have a choice, Lena said simply. I did what I had to do. For the next hour, she told him about Ethan's childhood. She told him about Ethan's first steps in their small apartment in Queens. She told him about how Ethan loved science when he was little. She told him about the time he broke his arm falling from a tree when he was 8 years old. She took out her wallet and showed Adrian pictures. School photos from every year showed how the boy had grown into the young man Adrian had met at the gala. He was always asking about you, Lena said as she put the photos away. When he was little, I told him his daddy was away working. When he got older, I had to tell him more of the truth, that you had left us. What did you tell him about why I left? Adrian asked. Lena looked straight into his eyes. I told him you weren't ready to be a husband or a father, that you had dreams that didn't include us. Her words hurt Adrian more than any angry shouting could. Adrian stood up and walked to the window. He tried to calm himself. When I left, he said finally, I told myself it was necessary for me to succeed. I thought I couldn't build the life I wanted with distractions. Distractions, Lena repeated. The words seemed heavy between them. Is that what we were to you? That's what I convinced myself, Adrian admitted. I was young, foolish, and ambitious. I thought I had to be ruthless to succeed. That meant cutting all ties, even to the people He stopped. Even to the people you what? Lena pressed. Even to the people I loved, he finished quietly. Lena looked away, blinking quickly. It's a bit late for love declarations, don't you think? I'm not declaring anything, Adrian said. I'm just trying to explain why I did what I did. Not to excuse it, but to make sense of it for both of us. The silence was broken by Lena's phone ringing. She looked at it quickly. It's Ethan. He finished his rotation earlier than expected. Does he know I'm here? Adrian asked. Lena nodded. He's the one who suggested I come. Despite everything, he wants to know you, she answered the phone. Hi, honey. Yes, I'm still here. Actually, she looked at Adrian. Would you like to join us? We were going to have lunch. Adrian's heart jumped. Yes, absolutely. 30 minutes later, they sat at a quiet table in the back of a small Italian restaurant in the West Village. It was not the kind of place Adrian would usually choose, but it clearly meant something to Lena and Ethan. Mom and I come here every Sunday, Ethan said stiffly as they looked at their menus. We've been coming since I was a kid. Adrian nodded, trying not to think about all the Sundays he had missed. The owner, Marco, used to let me do my homework in the back booth when Mom worked the dinner shift, Ethan said. He helped me with math. Another man had been there for his son when Adrian wasn't. Adrian swallowed. That was kind of him. An uncomfortable silence filled the table until the waiter came to take their order. Adrian noticed how easily the server spoke with Lena and Ethan. It was another reminder of the life they had built without him. After ordering, Ethan looked at Adrian directly. So Mom says you want to get to know me? I do, Adrian said, meeting his son's eyes. Very much. Why? Because you just found out I exist? Or because you think I'm someone you can be proud of? Ethan's voice was sharp. Would you be sitting here if I wasn't in medical school? If I just had some regular job? Ethan, Lena said softly, that's not fair. No, it's a fair question, Adrian said. And the honest answer is, I don't know. I can't say what I would have done in another situation, but I do know that the moment I realized you were my son, nothing else mattered. Not what you do or who you are, just that you're my son. Ethan's face stayed doubtful. That's easy to say now. You're right to doubt me, Adrian admitted. I haven't earned your trust, but I'd like the chance to try. Their food arrived, giving them a break from the heavy talk. As they ate, Adrian asked about Ethan's life. At first, Ethan's answers were short, but when he began talking about his cancer research, his voice came alive. The problem with current treatments is that they hurt healthy cells, Ethan explained, eyes shining. My research is about targeting only the cancer cells, leaving healthy tissue alone. Adrian listened closely, amazed by his son's intelligence and dedication. That's incredible. How did you get interested in oncology? Ethan's face turned sad. Grandma Williams, Mom's mom, Died of breast cancer when I was 12. She lived with us during her last year. I'm sorry, Adrian said quietly. I didn't know. There's a lot you don't know, Ethan replied with an edge. Lena stepped in gently. Ethan's research is funded by the Riverside Foundation. That's why we were at the gala. He got one of their Young Scientist grants. It's very competitive, Ethan added. Only 5 are given each year. Adrian felt proud but also ashamed that he hadn't helped his son get here. I'd love to hear more. Maybe I could visit your lab sometime? Ethan hesitated, then gave a small nod. Maybe. I'll think about it. It wasn't much, but it was a start. Adrian decided to be direct. I want to help you. Financially, your education, your research, anything. Ethan's face hardened. I don't want your money. Ethan has a full scholarship, Lena explained, and his grant covers his research. There must be something, Adrian began. We've managed for 22 years without your help, Ethan cut in. We don't need it now. Adrian nodded, hiding his hurt. I understand, but the offer stands. As they were about to leave, Adrian's phone buzzed again and again. He ignored it until Lena nodded for him to check. It's my office, he said. The Westridge acquisition. The one everyone at the gala was talking about? Ethan asked. Yes, months of work. Then you should take it, Lena said, standing. We understand how important your business is. The old Adrian would have left right away. But looking at his son and the woman he once loved, he made a different choice. They can handle it without me. This is more important. Something flickered in Lena's eyes, maybe surprise, maybe respect. We should go, she said. Ethan has studying to do, and I have a class to teach. You teach? Adrian asked, realizing how little he knew about her life. High school English, for the past 15 years. Adrian paid the bill and walked them outside. The crisp autumn air smelled of bread and coffee. Thank you for today, he said awkwardly. Could we do this again? Maybe dinner later this week? Lena looked at Ethan, letting him decide. I have a presentation Friday at medical school, Ethan said after a pause. It's about my research. If you want to come, you can. Adrian's heart swelled. I'd be honored. What time? 4 o'clock. Columbia Medical Center. Hamilton Hall, room 302. I'll be there, Adrian promised. As they walked away, he felt something he hadn't in years. Hope mixed with regret. Maybe it wasn't too late. Back in his penthouse, Adrian canceled his meetings and opened his laptop. He read about oncology, wanting to understand Ethan's work. Then he searched for information about Lena. He found her school's website. Miss Carter has been teaching English at Roosevelt High School since 2009, it said. She ran the creative writing club and led the debate team to 3 championships. He wondered if she had dated anyone else. She wasn't wearing a wedding ring, but that didn't mean she had been alone. The thought of her with someone else made his chest ache. His phone rang. It was Diane. Johnny, where have you been? I've been calling for days. Something important came up. More important than me? Everyone's talking about that woman and her son. Your son. Is that what this is? Yes, Adrian said. I need time to figure this out. You can acknowledge the kid without disappearing on me. We have the benefit at the Met tomorrow. You promised you'd come. I can't. I'm sorry. You're choosing them over me? She asked. I'm choosing to try to know my son. I've missed 22 years. I can't miss any more. Call me when you get your priorities straight, Diane said and hung up. Adrian set his phone down, feeling strangely lighter. His intercom buzzed. Mr. Carter, Mr. Reynolds is here about the Westridge deal. Tell him I'm busy and clear my schedule for Friday. I have a presentation to attend at Columbia Medical School. Friday came. Adrian barely slept the night before. He wanted to look right for the event. His fancy suits felt wrong for a university. He arrived an hour early and found room 302. The door was open. A young woman with curly hair was setting up a laptop. Excuse me, Adrian said. Is this where Ethan Carter will be presenting today? Yes, she said, but he's not here yet. Are you a faculty member? No, Adrian hesitated. I'm his father. The woman's eyes opened wide in surprise. Oh, I didn't know Matt's dad was coming, she said. I'm Isla, one of his research partners. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too, Adrian said. Does Ethan ever talk about me? He couldn't help asking. Isla looked a little uncomfortable. Not really. He just said his dad wasn't around, but I'm glad you're here now. He's been working very hard on this presentation. Adrian nodded, trying not to look hurt. Of course, Ethan wouldn't have talked about him. What was there to say? Can you tell me about the research you two are doing? Adrian asked. Ila's face lit up, and we're making a new way to give cancer medicine. It will only go to the bad tumor cells by finding a special protein on them. Matt is the real genius. I just help in the lab. He sounds amazing, Adrian said proudly. I agree, Isla said. Everyone knows he's going to do something great in this field. She looked at her watch. He should be here soon if you want to wait. I need to finish setting things up. Adrian thanked her and sat in the back row. Slowly, the room filled with students and teachers. 5 minutes before 4 o'clock, he saw Lena come in. She looked around, surprised to see him, and came over. You came, she said, sitting next to him. I promised I would, Adrian said. You're early, Lena said, checking her watch. I thought you'd come rushing in at the last minute with some business problem. Not today, Adrian said. Nothing could keep me away from this. Something in his voice made Lena look at him more closely. This means a lot to Ethan, even if he won't say it. Before Adrian could answer, Ethan walked in, holding a folder. He looked a bit nervous, but also determined. He was wearing a white shirt and tie under his lab coat. His eyes went around the room and stopped when he saw Adrian and Lena. He looked surprised, then gave them a small nod. The teacher in charge introduced Ethan, telling everyone about his many awards and great work. Adrian listened in growing amazement at how much his son had already achieved. When Ethan started talking, his nervousness disappeared. He spoke clearly and with confidence about very hard medical ideas, using slides to show his points. Adrian didn't understand all the science, but he understood enough to know that his son's work could save thousands of lives. The old way of giving cancer medicine is like hitting with a huge hammer when what we need is a small, careful knife, Ethan explained. Our new system lets us attack cancer cells exactly while leaving the healthy cells alone. As Adrian listened, pride and sadness filled him. This smart young man had grown up without him. What moments between father and son had he missed? After the talk, Ethan answered questions easily. When the crowd left, he came over to Lena and Adrian. You were amazing, Lena said, hugging him. I didn't understand all of it, but I could tell everyone was impressed. Thanks, Mom, Ethan said. Then he turned to Adrian. You actually came. I said I would, Adrian replied. It was incredible. You're doing important work. Ethan's serious look softened a little. Thanks. That means something coming from someone who knows about success. It wasn't much, but Adrian took it as a good sign. I'd love to hear more about your research. Maybe over dinner, my treat to celebrate your presentation. Ethan looked at his mom, who nodded. Sure, I guess that's okay, he said. As they left, Ela called out, Matt, we're going to Barney's to celebrate. Are you coming? I'm having dinner with my mom and dad, Ethan said. Ela's eyes lit up. That's great. How about you all join us? The whole team would love to meet your parents. Ethan looked at Adrian and Lena. Would that be okay? It's just a casual place. Of course, Lena said. Sure, Adrian said, though a student bar wasn't really his style. Barney's was a busy pub near campus, full of medical students relaxing after a hard week. Ethan's team had pushed several tables together. They welcomed Lena warmly. They clearly knew her and looked curiously at Adrian. So you're Matt's dad? Asked a young man named Lucas. He never said you were rich and famous, another student added. I'm not famous, Adrian said with a smile. Just lucky in business. Dad builds things, Ethan explained to his friends. Mostly buildings. It was the first time Ethan had called him Dad instead of Adrian. The word filled Adrian with emotion. The night went better than Adrian expected. Ethan's friends were smart and fun, and they clearly respected him. Adrian saw a different side of Ethan, funny, relaxed, and popular. He's always been like this, Lena said softly, noticing Adrian watching. A serious student, but also the heart of the group. He gets that from you, Adrian said. You could always light up a room. Lena looked surprised. That was a long time ago. Not so long that I've forgotten, Adrian said. Their eyes met for a moment, and he felt a little of their old connection. Then Ethan called them over to listen to a funny story, and the moment ended. Later, as people were leaving, Ethan pulled Adrian aside. I've been thinking about your offer to help with money, Ethan said. Yes. Adrian asked, trying not to sound too eager. I still don't want money for myself, Ethan said, but our lab needs better equipment. If you're serious, maybe you could give money to the research fund. That way it helps everyone. Adrian's heart jumped. It wasn't full acceptance, but it was a step. I'd be honored. Tell me who to contact. I'll email you, Ethan said. He hesitated. Thanks for coming today. It meant something. Outside, Ethan waved for a cab for himself and Lena. Adrian offered them a ride, but Ethan said, I've got an early shift at the hospital, but maybe we can talk again soon. I'd like that, Adrian said, trying not to show too much excitement. As they left, Adrian walked slowly toward his car. His son had called him Dad. His son wanted to talk again. Small steps, but they felt huge. The next morning, Adrian was reading some contracts when his assistant's voice came through the intercom. Mr. Carter, there's a Mr. Richard Westridge here to see you. He doesn't have an appointment. Adrian frowned. Richard Westridge was the head of the company Adrian was trying to buy. It had been a tough, unfriendly takeover, and they had been working on it for months. Send him in. Westridge stormed into the office, red-faced. What game are you playing, Carter? First you make my company's stock drop, then you give a low offer, and now you're slowing down the deal. I'm not playing games, Adrian said calmly. The deal is going as planned. Not from what I hear, Westridge said. Your team says you've been missing meetings. My board is nervous. We have other people interested. Adrian leaned back. A week ago, the idea of losing this deal would have made him furious. Now, he felt strangely calm. Are you saying you'll walk away? Adrian asked. I'm saying you need to show you're serious, Westridge replied. This is my life's work. Those words hit Adrian. His life's work had always been his business. But now he wondered if a stack of buildings was worth more than having a son in his life. I understand, Adrian said, standing up. The deal will go through. You have my word. After Westridge left, Adrian called his team. Finish the Westridge deal without me, he told them. His second-in-command, Victor, looked shocked. You've handled this from the start. It's your project. I trust you to finish it, Adrian said. I have personal matters to handle. When the meeting ended, Victor stayed behind. Is everything okay? You've been different this week. Adrian thought for a moment. I just found out I have a son. He's 22. I missed his whole life. I'm trying to make up for it. Victor's eyes went wide. Wow, that's something. Adrian nodded. It's changed my priorities. So that's who that young man was at the gala, the one who looks just like you, Victor said. Yes. His name is Ethan. He's in medical school, researching cancer cures. A doctor instead of a businessman, Victor said. That must be a disappointment. No, Adrian said firmly. I couldn't be prouder. After Victor left, Adrian saw an email from Ethan. It had the contact information for the research fund and a short note. Dr. Annika oversees the fund. Thanks for your interest in our work. It was formal, but it was still a connection. Adrian called Dr. Annika right away and set a meeting for that afternoon. Ethan told me you might contact us, she said. He speaks highly of your interest in his research. Adrian doubted Ethan had said it exactly like that, but he smiled. I want to make a big donation to help his work. What do you need most? Dr. Annika's eyes lit up. We need new imaging machines. We don't have enough lab space, and we always need money for clinical trials. What would it cost to fix all of that? Adrian asked. She told him a very large number. Adrian didn't even blink. Consider it done. My foundation will send the money next week. Dr. Annika looked shocked. That's very generous. May I ask why? Adrian thought for a moment. Let's just say I'm investing in the future, my son's future, and the future of the people his research could help. He asked for a tour of the lab. The space was small but tidy, with a lot of equipment packed in. This is where Ethan works? Adrian asked. Yes, often late at night, Dr. Annika said. He's one of our most dedicated researchers. His mother must be proud. She is, Adrian said quietly, feeling that he didn't deserve any of that pride. Your gift will change what we can do here, Dr. Annika said. I'll make sure Ethan knows how generous you've been. Please don't tell him the amount, Adrian said. I don't want him to think I'm trying to buy his affection. I understand, Dr. Annika said with a knowing smile. Family can be complicated. As Adrian left the building, he almost bumped into Lena, who was carrying a brown paper bag. Adrian, what are you doing here? She asked, surprised. I met with Dr. Annika about helping the research fund, he said. Ethan sent me the details. That's good of you, Lena said, holding up the bag. I'm bringing Ethan some dinner. Adrian got a message that Ethan, his son, would be working late again, but now he was here. Adrian felt a warm hope in his heart. He was happy because he might get to see his son again in the science lab. Lena, Ethan's mom, nodded. But I should warn you, she said. When Ethan works, he gets very focused. He might not want to talk much. I understand, Adrian said. I just want to say a quick hello, if that's okay. They went into the elevator together. Neither of them spoke. Adrian looked at Lena and noticed she looked tired. She had dark circles under her eyes. Are you okay? Adrian asked. You look really tired. Lena sighed. It's the end of the school term. I have to grade 30 essays about the Great Gatsby. Can I help? Adrian asked quickly. But then he felt silly. He knew he didn't know much about English schoolwork. To his surprise, Lena smiled. It was the first real smile she had given him since they met again. Unless you suddenly became an expert in American literature, probably not. But thanks for asking. They reached Ethan. He was bent over a microscope writing notes on a pad. When he looked up and saw them both, his face showed surprise. Mom? Adrian? What are you both doing here? Dinner delivery, Lena said, holding up a bag of food. And I saw your father downstairs. He had a meeting with Dr. Annika. Ethan's eyes narrowed a little. About the donation? Adrian nodded. Yes, it's all arranged. Dr. Annika is handling the details. Thank you, Ethan said stiffly. It will help our work a lot. An awkward silence followed. Adrian searched for something to say that wouldn't feel pushy. Your lab is very impressive, he finally said. Dr. Annika showed me around. Ethan's face softened a little. It's not much compared to private labs, but we make it work. Sometimes the biggest discoveries come from small beginnings, Adrian said. My first office was just an old storage closet in a Bro Victor Down building in Queens. Ethan looked interested. Really? Mom always said you were ambitious, but she never told me how you started. Adrian glanced at Lena, who was putting Ethan's dinner on a clear spot on the table. It wasn't very fancy, he said, just me and a telephone calling possible investors. And now you own half of Manhattan, Ethan said with a little edge in his voice. Not half, Adrian smiled. Maybe a quarter. To his surprise, Ethan laughed, a short, real laugh that sounded just like Adrian's own. It took Adrian's breath away. I should get back to work, Ethan said, pointing at his microscope. These cell cultures won't study themselves. Of course, Adrian said, hiding his disappointment that the talk was so short. Don't let us stop you. As they were about to leave, Ethan called out, Hey, Adrian, I'm playing basketball with friends on Sunday morning at the university courts. Want to come? Adrian hadn't played in 20 years, but his heart leapt. What time? 9. It's just for fun, nothing serious. I'll be there, Adrian promised. In the elevator, Adrian couldn't stop smiling. He invited me to play basketball. Don't get your hopes too high, Lena warned. He's still getting used to all this. I know, Adrian said, but it's a start. When they reached the ground floor, Adrian asked, "Would you like a ride home? It's late and you're tired." Lena almost said no, but then nodded. Actually, that would be nice. The subway is crowded this time of night. In the car, they sat in quiet comfort until Lena said, "You were different with Ethan today." "How so?" Adrian asked. "Less corporate, more human. When we were married, you were always thinking about the next deal, the next meeting. Even if you were there, your mind was somewhere else." Adrian winced. "I was a fool. I thought success meant money and power. I didn't understand what was truly important." "And now you do?" Lena asked. "I'm learning," Adrian said. "I've learned no business deal is more important than knowing my son." When they reached Lena's home, a small brownstone in Brooklyn, Adrian looked surprised. "This is where you live?" Lena nodded. "Since Ethan was 10, it's not fancy, but it's home." Adrian tried to picture Ethan growing up here, doing homework at the table, Lena grading papers. It was a normal life he had never had himself. "Thanks for the ride," Lena said, "and thank you for the donation. It means a lot to Ethan, even if he doesn't say so." "I'd do anything for him," Adrian said, "and for you if you'd let me." They looked at each other. It wasn't forgiveness, but maybe the start of understanding. "Good night, Adrian. Don't forget, basketball courts Sunday at 9. "I'll be there," he promised, watching her walk up the steps. Adrian thought, "This is the home I should have helped create, the life I should have shared." He promised himself he couldn't change the past 20 years, but he could change the next 20, for Ethan, for Lena, and for the man he was trying to be. Sunday came with sunny skies and mild weather. Adrian woke early, nervous about the game. This was the first time Ethan had invited him to do something. He was scared of saying or doing something wrong. He tried on different sports clothes, but they either looked too fancy or too new. Finally, he chose plain shorts and a simple t-shirt. Looking in the mirror, he barely recognized himself without a suit. He arrived 15 minutes early and sat on a bench, watching students and teachers play friendly games. At exactly 9, Ethan walked toward the court with Isla and some other researchers. "You actually came," Ethan said, sounding surprised. "I said I would," Adrian replied. "Do you even play basketball?" Ethan asked. "I used to in college. I'm probably rusty," Adrian admitted. They split into teams, Ethan, Adrian, and Lucas, against Isla and 2 others. The game was fun, with jokes and laughter. At first, Adrian played carefully, passing the ball often, but soon, his old skills returned. He stole the ball and made a clean layup. "Not bad for an old guy," Ethan said with a hint of approval. Encouraged, Adrian played more. He wasn't as fast, but he was smart about where to stand and when to move. During a water break, Ethan asked, "Mom never said you played basketball." "There's a lot she probably didn't tell you," Adrian said. "Some good, some not so good." "Like what?" "I worked my way through college with a basketball scholarship. I wasn't good enough for the pros, but I did okay. I'm a terrible cook. Your mom said I could burn water. And I'm afraid of heights, even though I own tall buildings." Ethan almost smiled. "Mom can't cook either. We eat a lot of takeout." That small fact about their life felt like a treasure to Adrian. "What else did I miss about you growing up?" "I broke my arm when I was 8, climbing a tree. I was terrible at baseball, but loved science camp. My first microscope was a Christmas present when I was 10. Adrian listened quietly, picturing each moment he had missed. "I would have loved to see all that," he said softly. "Yeah, well, you made your choice," Ethan said. Adrian felt the sting. "I did, and it was the worst mistake of my life." Before Ethan could answer, Ayla called them back. This time, Ethan passed Adrian the ball more, even helping him score. When the game ended, their team won by just a few points. "Same time next week?" Lucas asked. "Sure," Ethan said, then turned to Adrian. "You can come too if you want." "I'd like that," Adrian said, hiding how happy he felt. As they were packing up, Ethan said, "I'm meeting Mom for lunch. She's bringing my old microscope for a kid in her class who likes science. You could come." "I'd love to," Adrian said. He called his office to cancel a meeting with rich investors. "Yes," he told his assistant firmly. "Family plans." At lunch in a small cafe, Adrian saw the cardboard box with the microscope. "It's my first real microscope," Ethan said. "Not a toy. I saved for months to buy it," Lena added. "It was worth it." "Now Mom's giving it to a kid in her class," Ethan explained. "His name is Noah," Lena said. "He's curious about everything and very smart. His family doesn't have much money." "That's wonderful," Adrian said. "It's just been sitting in storage. It should be used," Lena said. "Still," Adrian replied, "it's generous." "It's what people do when they care," Ethan said pointedly. "They show up. They stay." "You're right," Adrian said, "and I'm trying to do that now, even if I'm late." After lunch, Lena checked her watch. "I should go. Noah's meeting me at the library in 20 minutes. "I'll walk with you," Ethan said. Adrian paid for the meal and followed them outside. "Thanks for including me today," he told Ethan. "It meant a lot." "Maybe we could do it again," Ethan said. Adrian smiled. "I'd like that." It wasn't excitement, but it was something like acceptance. Adrian decided he would take that. Over the next few weeks, a careful routine started. Adrian joined the Sunday basketball games with Ethan. Sometimes, after the games, they had lunch together. Adrian even went to another talk at the medical school. Ethan still had some anger toward him, but it wasn't as sharp as before. It was slowly getting softer. Lena stayed more careful. She was polite, but didn't get too close. She kept clear boundaries between them. Adrian understood and respected her caution, but he also found himself more and more drawn to the woman she had become. Stronger, more confident, but still with the same kindness that had made him fall in love with her long ago. At work, people noticed Adrian was different. After one meeting, Victor stopped him. "What's going on with you?" Victor asked. "You're letting the team make big decisions, you're leaving work early, and in meetings, you're not really paying attention." "I'm delegating," Adrian said calmly. "It's good management." "That's not like you," Victor insisted. "The Adrian Carter I know would never skip the Henderson deal just to watch a basketball game." "Maybe I'm not that Adrian Carter anymore," Adrian replied. Victor studied him. "This is about your kid, isn't it? And his mother." Adrian didn't deny it. "I'm trying to make up for 20 years of not being there. If that means changing my life, so be it." Victor shook his head. "You've built an empire, Adrian. Don't let guilt over some woman from your past ruin it." "That woman is the mother of my son," Adrian said sharply. "Nothing I've built matters more than what I lost when I left them." Victor stared at him like he was crazy. "You sound like a greeting card, not a businessman. What's next? Selling the company and opening a flower shop?" Adrian almost laughed at the idea, but deep inside he wondered, what do I actually want for my future now? The chase for money and power didn't feel the same anymore. "I'm not selling the company," that he told Victor, "but I am rethinking my priorities." That evening, Adrian got a call from Lena. "I need a favor," she said right away. "The boiler in my building broke. No heat, no hot water. It will take 3 days to fix." "Stay at my place," Adrian offered quickly. "I have plenty of room." "That's not what I'm asking," Lena said. "There's a hotel nearby, but it's fully booked because of a convention." Ethan said maybe you'd know someone who could help. Adrian felt a little sad that she didn't want to stay with him, but he hid it. "I know the manager at the plaza. I'll make a call." "The plaza is too expensive," Lena protested. "It's on me," Adrian insisted. "Please, let me do this small thing for you." There was a long pause. Then Lena sighed. "Fine, thank you." Within an hour, Adrian had gotten her not just a room, but a suite at the plaza. He went to her building to give her the key card, planning to leave it with the doorman. But to his surprise, Lena was waiting in the lobby with her small suitcase. "You didn't have to bring it yourself," she said, but she looked touched. I wanted to make sure everything was okay, Adrian replied. He looked at her suitcase. Can I give you a ride to the hotel? Lena hesitated, then nodded. That would be nice. Thank you. In the car, she seemed more relaxed. Ethan told me about the basketball games. He seems to enjoy them, she said. Adrian smiled happily. Really? He's never said anything to me. He wouldn't, Lena said with a small smile. He's still protecting himself, but I can tell he's starting to look forward to Sundays. That warmed Adrian's heart. And what about you? How do you feel about all this? Lena looked out the window at the city lights. Confused, she admitted. For 20 years, I taught myself not to think about you, not to wonder where you were. Then suddenly, you're back, and you're different from what I expected. Different how? Adrian asked. I expected you to still be arrogant and selfish the way you were when you left, but you've been patient with Ethan and you've respected his feelings. I wasn't ready for that. People can change, Adrian said softly, especially when they learn what really matters. When they reached the hotel, Adrian carried her suitcase to the suite. Lena gasped when she saw the view of Central Park. This is too much. It's nothing, Adrian said, just a room. This is the kind of place I used to dream about when we were young, Lena said. Remember how we'd walk by fancy hotels and imagine staying in them? Adrian smiled at the memory. I remember. We had so many dreams. You achieved yours, Lena said. No, Adrian corrected her. I achieved what I thought were my dreams. I was wrong. Their eyes met, and for a moment Adrian felt the same connection they once had. Thank you for the room, Lena said finally. I should get settled. Of course, if you need anything, just call. Adrian, she called as he was leaving. Would you like to have dinner tomorrow night? To thank you for this? Adrian's heart leapt. I'd love to. The next evening, they met at a quiet restaurant. This time, talking felt easier. They shared about who they had become over the 20 years apart. Do you ever wonder, Lena asked over dessert, what would have happened if you had stayed? I think about it every day, Adrian admitted. We would have struggled at first, but we would have been together when Ethan was born. I would have seen his first steps, heard his first words. He looked just like you as a baby, Lena said softly. Sometimes it was hard to look at him without thinking of you. The thought hurt Adrian deeply. I'm so sorry, he said. Not just for leaving, but for how I left, without a word. You deserved better. Yes, I did, Lena agreed, but that was a long time ago. We've both had to make peace with the past. Have you? Adrian asked. I had to, for Ethan's sake, she said. Children can feel resentment. I didn't want him to grow up with that burden. He still resents me, Adrian said. That's different. He's allowed to have his feelings, Lena replied. But he's coming around. Give him time. When Adrian walked her back to the hotel, he felt lighter than he had in years. They weren't the young couple they once were, but something new was forming, a friendship, and maybe the start of forgiveness. The following Sunday, Ethan surprised Adrian. Want to have dinner at Mom's tonight? She's making her famous lasagna, Ethan said after their basketball game. Well, actually, ordering it from Marco's and putting it in her own dish. Don't tell her I told you. Adrian laughed. Your secret's safe with me. That evening, Adrian brought flowers and Lena's brownstone. It was his first time being invited into their home, the place where Ethan had grown up without him. Lena looked relaxed in casual clothes. Come in, she said, taking the flowers with a smile. Ethan's setting the table. The apartment was warm and cozy, filled with books and photos. Adrian saw pictures of Ethan as a baby, at a science fair, at graduation, a whole life he had missed. Dinner's almost ready, Lena called from the kitchen. Ethan, show your father around. Ethan gave him a short tour. In Ethan's old bedroom, now a home office, Adrian saw academic trophies and a framed photo of him and Lena on their wedding day. Mom always kept that, Ethan said. She wanted me to know where I came from, even if you weren't around. Adrian swallowed hard. She's an extraordinary woman, your mother. She is, Ethan agreed. She never said a bad word about you, even when I was angry. She just said you had a different path. Adrian felt humbled. I didn't deserve that kindness. No, you didn't, Ethan said honestly, but that's who she is. During dinner, Adrian saw the natural closeness between mother and son. They had built their own little world, and he knew it would take time for him to truly be part of it. After the meal, Ethan spoke. I've been offered a research position at Mayo Clinic. It's for 2 years, working with Dr. Samuel on immunotherapy trials. That's wonderful news, Lena said, though Adrian noticed her sadness at him moving away. I just got the official offer, Ethan explained. I wanted to tell you both together. That's amazing, Adrian said. When would you start? September, Ethan replied. It's in Rochester, Minnesota. It's far, Lena said softly. I know, Ethan said, but it's a huge opportunity. Then you have to go, Adrian told him firmly. Your work matters too much. Ethan looked grateful. Thanks. I hoped you'd both understand. As Adrian was leaving, Ethan walked him to the door. Mom's birthday is next month. I want to get her a weekend at that spa she likes, but it's expensive. I thought maybe we could give it to her together, from both of us. Adrian felt touched. I'd be honored. Over the next month, Adrian spent more time with Ethan and Lena. For Lena's birthday, they surprised her with a spa trip and dinner at her favorite place. Seeing her smile lit something in Adrian's heart. Old feelings he thought were gone. As spring turned to summer, Ethan got busier preparing for his move. Adrian helped him look for apartments and even introduced him to a friend at the Mayo Clinic. One July evening, Adrian invited Lena to dinner by the harbor. The golden sunset reflected on the water. Ethan seems excited about the move, Adrian said, but I know you're going to miss him a lot. Lena nodded, her eyes shining in the colors of the sunset. It's the right thing for him, she said, but yes, it will be hard having him so far away. We've never been apart for more than a few days. You've done an amazing job with him, Lena, Adrian said kindly. When I look at the man he's become, his intelligence, his kindness, his determination, I see you in all of it. He has your drive. Lena smiled a little. And he has your focus. When he decides to do something, nothing can stop him. Like leaving his family for a business empire? Adrian said with a sad little laugh at himself. Lena shook her head. No, like using that ambition to help other people. She paused. You've changed, Adrian. I didn't think it was possible, but you have. Meeting Ethan changed me. Then Adrian admitted it made me see what I missed, what I threw away. He took a deep breath, and seeing you again. Lena looked away, but Adrian still caught the tiny flicker of emotion in her eyes. We can't go back, she said softly. Too much time has passed. I don't want to go back, Adrian said. The man I used to be doesn't deserve you or Ethan, but maybe the man I'm trying to become could at least be your friend. The word friend felt too small for the feelings growing inside him, but he didn't want to pressure her. For the first time since they had met again, Lena reached across the table and took his hand. I'd like that, she said. Friendship. In August, they helped Ethan pack up his apartment and get ready for his big move. The night before he left, Lena had a small goodbye dinner at her place with some of Ethan's closest friends. When the evening was almost over and guests were leaving, Ethan pulled Adrian onto the small balcony. I wanted to thank you, Ethan said, surprising Adrian. I haven't done anything, Adrian said. You showed up, Ethan counted. You stayed, even when I made it hard for you. You respected my space, but didn't give up. And most importantly, you've been there for Mom. I worry about her being alone after I leave. She won't be alone, Adrian promised. I'll look out for her if she lets me. Ethan nodded. I know. He hesitated. I've been calling you Adrian all this time because calling you Dad didn't feel right. Like you hadn't earned it yet. Adrian's heart tightened. I understand. The thing is, Ethan continued, these past few months, you've been acting like a real dad. He held out his hand. So, thanks, Dad. Adrian's eyes filled with tears. He shook Ethan's hand, then pulled him into a hug. "Thank you, son," he whispered. The next morning at the airport, the three of them stood at the security line. Ethan hugged his mother tightly. Both of them were trying not to cry. "Call me as soon as you land," Lena said, "and every day after that." "Maybe not every day, Mom," Ethan said with a small smile, "but I'll stay in touch." Then he turned to Adrian. "Take care of yourself, Dad, and Mom too." "I will," Adrian promised. "And if you need anything at all, just call me." When Ethan disappeared into the security line, Adrian and Lena walked silently back to the parking garage. In the car, Lena finally cried. She had been holding it in for Ethan's sake. Without thinking, Adrian pulled her close. "He's going to be fine," he whispered into her hair. "And so are you." "I know," Lena said, wiping her eyes. "It's just hard to let go." "You don't have to do it alone," Adrian said. "I'm here." Lena looked up at him, her tear-stained face more beautiful to him than anyone he had seen in 20 years. "Why are you here, Adrian? Really?" she asked. The question needed the truth. "Because I never stopped loving you," he said. "I buried those feelings under ambition and pride, but they never went away. Finding you and Ethan again made me realize what I lost, what really matters." Lena studied his face carefully. "Love isn't enough," she said at last. "There has to be commitment, sacrifice, showing up every day, even when it's hard." "I know," Adrian said, "and I'm not asking for anything right now, except the chance to prove I've changed, to be part of your life in whatever way you'll allow." Lena was quiet for a long time. "I can't make any promises," she said finally, "but I'm willing to see where this goes, slowly." It wasn't a declaration of love, but it was hope. In the months that followed, autumn painted the city in rich colors. Adrian and Lena slowly built a new relationship. They talked to Ethan often, enjoying his excited updates about his research. Together they flew to Minnesota for Thanksgiving, the three of them spending the holiday as a family for the first time. On Christmas Eve, Adrian took Lena to see the big Christmas tree at Rockefeller Center, just like they had when they were young. "I have something for you," he said, pulling a small box from his pocket. "It's not what you think," he added quickly when her eyes widened. "I know we're not there yet. Maybe we never will be, and that's okay." Lena opened the box and found a simple silver key. "What's this?" she asked. "It's the key to a house in Rochester," Adrian explained. "A few blocks from where Ethan lives. It's yours, no strings attached, so you can visit him whenever you want. Stay as long as you like. I bought one for myself too, on the other side of town." Tears filled Lena's eyes. "You did this for me?" "For both of us," Adrian said. "So neither of us has to miss any more of his life, and so he knows that even if we're not together, we're both there for him." Lena looked at the key, then at Adrian. "But we could be," she said softly. "Could be what?" Adrian asked. "Together," she said, taking his hand. "Not like before, we're different now, but maybe something new, something better." Adrian's heart filled with joy. "Are you sure? I don't want to rush you." Lena smiled. "After 20 years apart and 6 months of the slowest courtship ever, I don't think anyone could say we're rushing." Snowflakes began to fall as Adrian pulled her close. "I promise you, Lena," he whispered, "I will never leave again. Whatever comes, we'll face it together." "Together," she echoed, rising on her toes to kiss him. It was a kiss full of forgiveness, second chances, and the hope for a future they had never dared to imagine. That night, as they walked through the snowy streets holding hands, Adrian's phone chimed. It was a picture from Ethan in his Minnesota apartment wearing the Christmas sweater they had sent him. The caption read, "Merry Christmas to my mom and dad. Love you both." Adrian showed Lena the message, his heart so full it almost hurt. The son he had once lost had given him the greatest gift of all, a second chance at family, at love, at the life he should have chosen the first time. As they reached Lena's brownstone, decorated with twinkling lights, Adrian realized something important. All the success, all the money, All the power he had built over 20 years meant nothing compared to this moment. He had lost 20 years with his family, but now he would make the most of every day he had left. The past couldn't be changed, but the future was theirs to write. Together, one day at a time.